the hoard doesn't get hawked before the archaeologists get a chance to get here. Here's the farmer coming in to bring in a big concrete block to drop over it. Just stop anyone coming back digging it up. Yeah, it's because he's such a big target, isn't it? Yeah.
So I wonder how wide this is. Like, I wonder, you know, it could be all of this.
It could be. It could even be.
Oh man. Otherwise, if any treasure comes up, remember it's a Kent flow in a different county. But self-explanatory today. It's all of this field. Obviously, just respect the neighbours because he said they're normally out in their garden.
A bit of silver anyway.
Maybe. Well, all I got was the flare blade up here and a buckle.
I've got a silver coin. Way down by the White House.
Over that side, there's not a lot.
Right, when we got to a certain level with that soil behaved differently. It had a different colour to it.
Yeah.
And I felt that we were dealing with something that was actually placed in situ at that level. Yeah. As opposed to that.
Yeah. So
which
what
was over there.
So that must have blew your head off.
Yeah.
But then, so hang on. So you got that over there. That blew your head off.
We both got the signals at the same time.
What? And then you got this here, and you thought.
We both dug
because I said I said to you, I've got a really high signal, and then you told me you had a really high signal. I said, well, let me know what yours is, and then.
So you found that, and you thought, well, hang on a minute, you better dig that because you just had that.
Well, I'd already dug down to about here at that point, and I was getting knackered because
it's hard digging. Yeah.
And it was the hole was about this big.
Yeah.
So I had to build it out.
No, but once we found that,
tell you what,
there was no way we were not going to dig.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what though, look, because you know we said initially, look, 1, 2, 3. But look under there, look, there's a piece under there.
No, we've had the point
just here. That.
Yeah.
When it was at this level. Right, the ground, we had the pointer and we were getting signals.
I was getting signals. This was the thing, I couldn't pinpoint the thing. It was everywhere. I was like, it was here, it was here.
Yeah, it's because he's such a big target, isn't it? Yeah.
So I wonder how wide this is. Like, I wonder, you know, it could be all of this.
It could be. It could even be. You might even.
Oh man, I'd love to come. We'll have to put the day off.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I love Garrett machines. I've always had Garrett machines. I mean, it's an easy way. You've got a copy. So these listed on Kaylee, I'm sure you know about the tail on it is it's the 18 Pro. That's good. That's what it is. Yeah, and I think Dave and Luke done very well on that.
So you can see which has come up on his land.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Adrian. How are you all?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, David. How are you?
I'm tired. How are you all?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm good. Busy week at work. But
it's Thursday. It's 8 o'clock, and it's the Big Detecting Show.
Dave's got a cut on his face that he can't really tell anyone how he got it.
Yeah, it's I hit something at work and something came off and hit me in the face.
Pea shooters. Yeah. So hopefully your boss isn't watching.
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah.
How are we, mate?
Yeah, good. Lot going on this
I'll
week.
tell you what, that's going to have to come off. I'm sweltering. Someone's decided it's that time of the year to put the heating on, even though it's like 200 degrees outside of work still. Outside the house still.
Mine's off. But I'm down south, so we don't put ours on till mid-December.
That's because you're the equator, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's warmer and nicer down here. That's why the beer's better. But interesting about XP today.
It is. Luke, if you've got the video, you can play the video that I've got lined up. XP have released something new. We don't know what it is yet, but they've got this video out. Well, what do we think?
Well, we briefly discussed this. From revolution to evolution is one of the strap lines that's been used. So it is a good machine. Could do a bit of evolving. Waterproof head unit.
Is it a new machine? Total new machine.
Well,
how long since the ORX came out?
Well, the ORX is, yeah, that's not really that different, but the shaft and everything else on the dais is lovely. So the control unit, if it was waterproof and it had Wi-Fi updates and a few other things, I don't know. Let's hope it's not just a digging tool or a backpack or something. Let's hope it is a machine. So we'll see. Interested what people think in the chat.
Absolutely.
Could be a new coil, but I do feel
black hole.
It could be pink control units to celebrate,
or mauve,
or rainbow, or NHS. But no, I'm intrigued, very intrigued. It's all very hush hush. There's a lot of people not in the industry know, but don't know. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to it. I think it's going to be interesting.
It certainly is, because we've already had the what's the other one? The Rutus Alltrack, is it that pronunciation right?
Yeah, that's. I personally think I'll probably be told wrong here. I think that's got technology in it that they're testing.
Space aliens, Roswell.
No, before they bring out another machine. So why bring out the whole machine? Why not just upgrade the last one? And yeah, that looks good. The Alltrack. I always think about what's the lard you used to buy for cooking?
What?
Alltrack. You used to buy lard for cooking, didn't you? Called Alltrack.
Oh, right. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I know what you're on about, but I can't remember.
Yeah. But no, yeah, good. But
have we got any other machines on the horizon? Is that just, well, obviously the
Mine Lab,
potentially.
Talk of Mine Lab. Could be there could be a Apex Pro, Garrett Apex Pro. You've got
so it's looking a very interesting 2022 anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon it will be. And then
you
got
jostling for position.
You got the X10 Pro from Quest, which is a cracking little machine that came out a month ago. That looks really good for a beginner, without a doubt. Quest is X10 Pro. Yeah, that's a cracking little machine for kids and stuff, lightweight, waterproof, and everything. So yeah, a lot. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm hoping to get hold of the new Quest pinpointer as well to play with. It does.
That looks very, very good. Yeah.
Well, we've got a cracking guest tonight, Adrian.
We've got lots of things going on tonight. We've got an interesting guest. We've got some prize draws for people who've been hanging out, haven't we, Dave?
Yes, we've got 2 prize draws. We've got the Just Detect premium premium membership draw, which the main prize is the Equinox. I'm not sure. Is it the 800? It is.
Yep, 800.
And we've also got the McGrafter draw, which was a charity one to raise money for. Was that Macmillan? It was, wasn't it?
Yes, the money's gone to Macmillan already. So,
and how much was that? Can we announce?
£280, I think, or something.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, so that's very good.
Of those of you watching who have obviously give money to Macmillan via Paul from McGrafter, on his behalf, thank you very much. And we will see round about 9 o'clock the winner of the McGrafter. Very, 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 very conscious of that.
It's a beauty spot.
It is.
That's what
so
I thought
beautiful.
it was. You've forgotten to take all your makeup off. We've also, part of that prize draw is Detectable 2022 tickets, spring, I think, and also composite cleaning pencil kit. So nice little prizes there.
It is, absolutely. Well, I hope we've got our guest in the background. Spoke to him last night. All's groovy on that, but Luke hasn't let me know if he's here yet. He is. Good evening, Jez.
Hello.
Right, Jez?
I'm over here. Hi.
Here he is.
Reverse
That's
screen.
a nice shirt. Very, 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 very definitely the exact same one as I wore to a wedding last month.
Well, I wear these all the time. I've been wearing these since, I think 2000. I had to do a Hogmanay gig. And Alistair got me to wear one of these, and I love them. They're great, aren't they? Really comfortable.
Absolutely. I couldn't believe how comfortable they are, to be honest. And being fat, the black held make my physique look quite thin.
Disco shirt, but with a historical spin on it, isn't it?
Yes,
like
Jacobean. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. You could lace it up.
I
like
do sometimes. You know, it looks a little bit kinky.
Leather lace.
This is Shirt TV for anyone who's just joined. We discussed shirts.
You did say shirt. You did remember the letter R in that, didn't you?
Yeah, shirts. Yeah.
All fashion, you know, all sorts, you know.
Well, let's first and foremost, we'll let Jez introduce himself to you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you will, Jez.
What would you like to know?
Things.
Where do you get shirts?
Other than shirts. We probably want to keep it fairly archaeological and.
I don't know. With historical accuracy with the shirt department, that's all right up to now.
True.
I'm gonna have to wear mine now, aren't I? Not
so. I mean, it's a good look. I like it.
I think the first thing is, how long have you been detected, and why did you start the hobby, Jez?
Well, I started when I was 12. That's probably only
10 years ago.
Yeah, about that, I reckon. I think, well, technically that's 30. Is it 30? Yeah, no. Yes, crumbs. 35 years ago.
I like you even better now because you're exactly the same age as me. And you said crumbs on live TV.
There's probably going to be more of that. It's quite nerve-wracking. I'm used to performing, but this is really quite nerve-wracking, if I'm honest. I don't normally do a lot of talking when I'm
just think as yourself of being sat in the pub with two weird people.
Yeah.
Who started bothering you.
Yeah.
Right, okay, I won't say what I was going to say then. Right, well, I started when I was about 12. I was at a sort of a family do, and there was this chap called Dave Ritchie in the car park, and it was the first time I'd ever seen a metal detector. And I went over to sort of talk to him, and he pulled out a couple of hammered coins. And obviously, I was even at 12, I was really into my history at school, and these things, were just amazing to me. And he showed me what could be found with a metal detector, and even let me have a go with it in the car park. There's this kind of like grassy car park at this place, and I found 20p. Back then that's a lot of money, as you're aware.
Yeah.
So it was a win-win for me. And so the first thing I did was said, can I have a metal detector to my parents, and they got me one of those things. I don't know if you remember Tandy.
Yay!
Oh, yeah.
We're all old boys showing their age now. And I got one, I think about a 5, the orange handle and one control, and if you went too far, it would just go nuts. And you could pick up a dustbin lid at about 2 inches sort of thing. And I found a little throttly bit with that. I was quite lucky to find that, to be honest. So I got messages coming in. And so after that, you know, once they'd seen I was keen and it wasn't just a fad, I sort of saved up and cashed in on a birthday and a Christmas and got a I think it was what was it, the Seascape VLF 770D, I think it was. Getting all nerdy now.
I've got a 600 series behind me, so I'm a little bit nerdy too, some respects.
And yeah, I stuck at that, and then eventually upgraded to a Garrett AT3. I don't know if you remember those, the underwater detectors. That was a big deal. That was for me. That was a lot of saving, I think. So yeah, I got one of those, and yeah, I kept going really until I discovered women and beer, and then had a little break.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people in the hobby. Not that, of course, that affected me in any way, but yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And the beard still doesn't, Adrian?
No, I on Vimto tonight. So yeah, but so when did you suddenly get proper back into it, hardcore? And what machine did you decide to hopefully upgrade from?
Right. Well, I mean, the thing was, I mean, going back to the 83, what happened with that? I mean, it was, you know, with our timeline here, if you kind of gather what was happening, it was around about 16, 17 years old. It started to play up, and back then there wasn't internet, and they're, as you were aware, an American company. So I'm on the phone to Garrett, you know, and it was expensive to call the USA back then. And obviously they put me on hold, and, you know, mums come in. Well, the bloody idiot, get off that bloody phone. So I had to kiss that machine goodbye. And I got to the point where I was pretty much fed up of finding George V pennies and musket balls anyway. So it was starting to plateau a bit, if I'm honest, anyway. So I thought, well, the machine's dead, the hobby's dead. You know, I was a young man about town and all that. It wasn't. So it's a bit of an anorak hobby, if we're honest with ourselves. You know, it is more suited to, you know, the older gent, and I was always a bit of a weirdo at that age, being into metal detecting. So I gave up, and I didn't get back into it until, when was it? It was probably about 7 years ago. I found out a good friend of mine was a detectorist on the slides. He posted up a picture of something he found, and he sort of sent me towards the videos. That's Chris Rogers.
Oh yeah,
we know him well. Yeah,
yeah, I knew him because obviously I'm a musician. I've been a full-time musician for about 25 years, and I know him through music and all of that. And obviously he's a fantastic bass player, and he said, "Oh, I think you're onto a little secret. This is my nerdy little hobby. I love it, you know." And he just, and watching his videos, it like inspired me really it reminded me of that thrill you get, you know, when you get that signal. You know, it's like Christmas really. You're sort of you know, just watching his little eyes light up, you know, and every signal he was finding, it just ignited that passion again. I thought, I want to get back into this. So I had a chat with him, and he, you know, he said, well, you know, if you want to give it a go, don't spend too much money. And he suggested a Seascape at the time, the 3MX, which he was using at that time. And yeah, I got in with the C8, I think it's the 3MX, and I stuck with that for a while. And you know, 3 years later, I was still going. So I thought, right, I will upgrade at some point. At that point, a friend of mine that got into detecting hadn't found much. He was doing the usual thing. He was doing rallies, finding tractor parts, and just being quite disillusioned with this whole thing. And I did explain it to him, you know, it's like 99.9% of the stuff you find will be scrap and trash, you know. He said, "Oh, I'm done with it now. Do you want to buy my machine?" So I did him a kind of a part X on mine and chucked him 500 quid, and I got the one I'm using now, the Mine Lab.
CTX.
No, God, that'd be nice. I got the Equinox 800. Yeah, we got there.
Yeah,
senior moment.
That's exactly the same one as I'm going to win tonight on the premium membership draw.
No, I'm going to win that.
No, I am.
I'm going to win that.
I need it.
I don't need to.
That's nice because I know Chris well, and we text now and again.
And he's actually in the house. Hello, Chris. We're talking about you.
He's a lovely guy, and those who are watching, watch his bass videos on YouTube. Fantastic, really, really. I tell you what, they're really good. I think he underrates himself on them. They're fantastic videos on his YouTube channel.
Oh, they're really entertaining. I mean,
yeah,
there's some great YouTube folk out there doing stuff, but obviously Chris was the first one I saw, and then I started looking at the others, and I thought, well, actually, I think Chris was, for me, was not just because he's a friend, was kind of streets ahead on the comedy and the enthusiasm and the reality of it. There are a lot of people finding great things, but he'll go out and show it as it is and bring that humour to it.
Yeah, it's interesting as well what you said, Jez, about a nerdy hobby, because when I was younger, I used to buy Treasure Hunting magazine when I was probably about 15, 16, but I used to hide it in my bedroom like you would other magazines in the day in case someone came round. So to have Max Power or Viz was cool, but not to have a metal detecting magazine, especially then, because it'd have a man in like a suit with a waistcoat with like a C-scope on the front cover, about 68 with a pipe. But yeah, it's... I don't think it's
like the C-scope of a pipe.
No, the man with the
pipe.
But yeah, I don't think it's as nerdy now. I think it's because it's got more technology and stuff, and because of social media, and there's more people. No, like you said, no one posts tractor parts really. They only post the good things, and people see that and think, "Oh, I want to take up this hobby," and then 99% of the time they don't find anything. But you stuck at it, and you did quite well the other week, didn't you?
That was a good week. That was.
Yeah. Did you want to explain to us where you were?
Before you start that, I actually Luke rang me when you discovered it, more or less, and I got exceptionally overly excited and did the small wee for you. And I'm up in like Cheshire. I was desperate to be there, so I got all excited. And go ahead, get to the story. Get to the story.
Well, the story, right? I should have really thought so. This is going to be me rambling, really, but
ramble on.
That's a good Led Zeppelin track. Right. So start of the day. So we're out on the rally. It was hard work. I mean, it really was. There was a lot of rocks and in the ground, and it was hard digging. There wasn't much coming up. I mean, I got it the usual kind of George II sort of rotten sort of halfpenny and a few other bits and trash, and it was hard work. So I was digging away, and it got to about 1 o'clock, I think, or 12, somewhere around about lunchtime, and a friend of mine, Neil, that invited me down, said, "Oh, we should crack on, do another bit." I said, "Right, okay, sure." So we went across to the other side of the field where we've been, and at that point I was just kind of hovering, in the air, in an area, and we just had a good vibe about it, But I say that like I'm just some sort of mystic, psychic or anything, but you get that sometimes, and you don't find anything. You kind of get that feeling about a place, but nothing comes to fruition really. And I got a beltingly high signal on the Knox, which was 39, which is, I don't know if you've ever had a 39. Do you use the Knox at all? Or
I've got a Knox. Yeah, that's very high.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had anything that high. I mean, I basically wanted to dig it just to see what a 39 was, even if it was like half an aeroplane or something. I started digging that, and I've looked across. I mean, Neil's probably 12 feet away, and I've got a really high signal on the dais, and his was a 99. So I'm thinking, well, we both got really high signals. I said, well, let's dig them up. So he started I started digging first. So I've got down about a foot, which was a lot. Normally I could do that in under a minute, but in this circumstance, it was probably about 15 minutes just to get that, because you have to just leave rocks left, right, and centre, and we weave your way down. He's digging his, and he's going, "Oh, I've got bronze ingot," and I've gone across to look at that, and it's a Bronze Age ingot, obviously. Neil's a very knowledgeable guy. We found ingots before, but only singularly, you know. So I said, right, that's it. I'm digging this one. So we sort of kept digging and digging and digging. And obviously, I think it was about 48 centimeters, the top of that hoard. So I got down. I mean, that was deep. And you know, the thing that happened that got exciting. This is where it got exciting, was that we went below the ploughed line of soil. We got into subsoil. The colour of the soil changed. You know, obviously, as you can imagine, you've gone down close to half a metre. It changed, and I'm looking down on this hole, you know, thinking, right, I need to go really carefully now. And this lovely lady came across who was on the rally, and she handed me a little excavating tool. And we just started sort of picking around the edges. And we saw.
No, I didn't know we found a ring. Silver button,
What's going on? There's a video going
or
on.
cufflink type thing. And
Yeah,
a few coins.
Luke's brought the video up to the. He's put the sound down now.
Oh yes, it's like a hole I dig for when I go camping to use for something that I won't talk about.
Pitching your tent, centre the tent thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is this on the day, Jez, when it was originally found?
Let's have a look. I'm presuming so. Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's the. Yeah, of course it is.
So what were we looking at in the hole? Oh, you've got two holes, obviously.
Well, one was presumably Neil's. That was his ingot.
Oh, look, it's like a cat.
Neil the cat.
I like Neil's pink vape in the video. Must commend him on that if he's watching.
Yeah, you know, he's not shy.
No, too right. Probably got it £1 cheaper. Yeah. I think it goes with detecting vaping. But when you first started digging down and you saw, what were your feelings? Were you like, oh my God, this is actually something? 39 on the knocks, which most people wouldn't dig, to be honest.
No, I mean, normally, you know, it's going to be a large bit of aluminium. It's going to be scrap 99.99999% of the time, actually, if I'm honest. But I just wanted to know, I mean, this is the thing with any machine, you're learning constantly and you want to find out what that number is, because that's how you assess the next situations. But I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I would have got over a foot deep had I no expectation or no realization that it was potentially going to be a bronze ingot. You know, I probably would have given up.
Yeah.
It was so far down, but because Neil had already found a bronze ingot, that's in my mind. I'd already envisaged the hoard, if I'm honest.
Really?
Because of the depth, you know, and the number, it was a bit like, well, there's, you know, 12 feet away, you've got an ingot. And that was potentially what I was digging. But, you know, I thought it was going to be one, maybe two, or very large one. And as soon as I got down that deep, and then, you know, I uncovered the first one, started excavating around the side of that, and then I saw a second one, got round to the third, it was like, right, and that was just uncovering the surface of it, you know, I hadn't gone around the side of them. It's like, I thought, right, it's time to stop now. This is potentially a hoard, and it needed the archaeologists in on it.
Yeah. Hats off to you all. Did the right thing and contacted them, didn't you? But you must have gone away that night. Well, there's another story behind that, isn't there? About what happened, if you want to explain.
Yeah, it was. We, you know, the thing is, in your head, you think, right, I found a hoard. It's great. You know, the archaeologists, you know, are in. You give them a call. They're in that afternoon. That didn't happen, and so we had this open hole, you know, with 3 ingots, you know, on show, with potentially more underneath, and they couldn't commit to getting anyone out. And everyone's very busy on other things which I won't disclose archaeologically at the moment, and we couldn't get anyone out. and I had a gig to get to as well. So I'd done this thing, and I had to go off and play at the I think it was the Bell over in Beersted. So I've kind of had to like dash off and leave this thing, and you know, with the concrete block over the top, and basically then come back and sleep in a field for a week.
Are you married, or were you?
Yeah, I am. Well, yeah.
How were you?
She's well, she is very understanding. She wasn't by the end of the week, if I'm honest.
So what, you had to take time off work?
No, this is the thing.
Let's go back a minute, Jazz. How on earth did you break it to her and get her head around that? Because that to me, oh, listen, Flower, I've got to go and stay in a field for a week because I found a hoard. To me, that's how did you get that out?
I didn't. Well, this is the thing. It wasn't all me. Luke was an absolute legend. Luke camped out in the field as well.
Yeah, he was texting me continuously till very late because, like, obviously he was bored and he was trying to keep me awake.
Did he live off roadkill?
Huh?
Did he live off roadkill? Because he likes being in the wild, does Luke?
He does, actually. I think, if I'm honest, much like myself, I think he was glad to sort of just sit in a field where it's quiet with no kids making noise.
Yeah,
it was. It was magical, if I'm honest. It really was.
I must admit, just sitting in a field, not having to worry about anything, watching when the archaeologists did turn up, watching them scurry away, and the conversation, proper chillaxed. And the weather was all right, wasn't it?
It was all right. I mean, it got damp in the mornings and stuff, obviously, with autumn sort of upon us and everything. I mean, also, and there were two other people that helped as well. So I just want to make it clear that it wasn't just me. I mean, I did 2 nights out of that week, so I think I did all right. I had a friend of mine, Paul, Big Paul. I don't know if he's watching tonight. Paul Paolo Reeves. I gave him a call, you know, because he knew about it. Because I'd gone live while I was digging, and I had to kind of shut it down while we had this kind of media sort of blackout thing, and he'd already kind of cottoned on what's happening. And I said, right, do you want to come down and, you know, help out? So he sat on it as well. He did a couple of nights, and he was around in the day as well. And we had a guy who I've not met called Kev, another big scary fellow. Come down. I said he's probably a very nice guy, much like my mate Paul. But you know, there he is. You wouldn't want to cross in tonight, would you?
There.
Kev, big.
Well,
Huh?
Well,
Kev, big.
everyone's all right.
Well,
Kev's scared of me.
Confirm the brick is still there.
Kev's scared. He won't
Exciting
tell me
times.
where he camps anymore.
Did you sleep in? Did you sleep in a van, Jez, or in a tent?
Do you know the worst part of this? First one wasn't too bad. It was a Honda CRV, which has got almost enough space to sleep in. I had to still curl up like a cat because I'm 6'1". So it was. I thought it'd be all right sleeping in the back of that, and I thought, woke up stiff in the morning, and that was horrendous. But the second night, I came back. We had the whole fuel shortage thing. If you remember, it's quite. Yeah. So we were struggling to get fuel. I didn't have any fuel in the CRV, so I had to take the other motor, which is a Citroen C3, quite tiny little hatchback thing, and I basically kicked out in the passenger seat. And it wasn't too bad, woke up a little bit stiff. But yeah, obviously we weren't allowed to camp in the field either, so the farm didn't want tents or anything up. So you had to sleep in your vehicle, no lights, no engine running. It had to be, so it was quite hardcore.
What, in like a lay-by or a country lane? No, we
initially he wasn't too keen of us being in the field, but in the end he was like, yeah, fine, okay, you can camp out next to the hoard, just stay in your car, no lights, no commotion, which is fair enough. He doesn't want anything being any attention drawn to that spot, because he's had trouble before, I think, just because of its location.
Did you have any nighttime visitors of any variety while you were there?
Probably Nile.
Badgers. But I scared them off with my badger look. You know, it's the thing. I thought it is a big badger. But no, we did have.
I said nothing.
They are scary, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think Paul had a load kind of rampaging past him. He thought they were wild boar. I said it was unlikely. Unless
I need to Google it. I haven't. How many people get killed each year by badgers? Because I think it's seriously high. We're talking in the hundreds.
You reckon?
Oh, yeah. I had one chase me the other month, and when it was dusk, and it frightened the life out of me. I thought it was a rabbit because it was about 100 foot away, and as it got closer, I was like, "Whoa!"
They're tough. Yeah, they're tough little critters.
Yeah. So you slept in your car for 2 nights, and you were helped out by other people as well. Niall was there, was he?
Niall was as well. So you had Niall, Luke. I mustn't forget Niall. Niall did a night as well. Niall, Luke, Paul did a lot as well. Kev did one, and we kind of, we tried to cross over, but there were, we can say it now, obviously, because it's done and dusted. There were periods when we couldn't get anyone out. We're working. I've got kids. Luke's got kids. People have got jobs. It was unattended. But I'd say 90% of the time we had people on there. A friend of mine, Paul, had 2 detectorists, or no, it was 3 actually. 3 detectorists turn up on the field while he was guarding it.
What, night hawking?
Day hawking, but they weren't day hawking because they had permission to be on there.
So
it became really awkward.
Did they say what's that big concrete block doing in the middle of the field?
No, this was the thing. They were kind of looking past it, like, there's a Bronze Age ditch over there, like behind. But they weren't even acknowledging the fact that he was stood next to this concrete block. And he said to him, I'm guarding a site of, that's scheduled to be excavated by archaeologists at the moment. So you're going to have to sort of sling your hook sort of thing. I mean, obviously, I feel for him. I also feel for them because I think they had permission to be on there. And it was probably a previous permission. But at the same time, it was a tricky situation, really. It's like, how do you deal with that? I think luckily Paul is a big guy and he sort of scared them off. But
yeah.
Right, I've been doing some research while you've been talking, and I can confirm that there's never been one fatality by a badger.
That's probably because there isn't a form on the government recording thing that states badger. That's probably why, Dave.
Yeah, I'll be under wild animal attack or something.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to go back.
Or COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Go back and check. Unknown wild animal. Like could be a muntjac or a boar, wild boar. So
wild boars, lethal.
Yeah, wild boars. Jez, when you went to bed that night after sort of finding the first few ingots, there could have been a lot more stuff under there. I know in the end it was ingots. But did you sort of lay there in bed at night thinking, because I'm the same, like when you said you had 39, I'm looking at the times I've had 39 on the Equinox and thought with my mate, oh, it must be a bomb or something. We're not going to dig it or whatever. But then you do go to bed at night and think, oh, what if? Did you have that feeling when you went home? What you thought it could be?
Well, yeah. I mean, crumbs. I mean, I was pretty sure it was a Bronze Age ingot hoard, because we'd spotted the 3 ingots or the outlines of them, and they were the right colour. It was the right sort of patina. But obviously, I was aware of other hoards as well that have turned up, and normally you have a load of ingot plate, the bun ingots on the top. Then there's a layer of soil, and then you have the axe heads, the spear heads, all of some sort of artifacts, albeit sort of broken, but artifacts underneath, which could have been, see hoards this big. they could have been out here, you know, a big, like, mass, you just, you know, unfathomable amount of other stuff. And this was my worry as well with the concrete block, because the concrete block was yay. I can't get my arms into the shop, was yay big, and someone could have dug down the side of it and hoiked that lot out, you know. It was a worry.
Yeah, but in the end, the archaeologists did turn up, and how long did it take them to finally unearth all the ingots? And how many were there in total?
It was 39, but it was 40 with the one that was obviously knocked off with a plough to the side of the hole that Neil discovered. So it's 40 in total, and it took from, I think it was about 8:30 in the morning to about 7 at night.
Wow.
There's a lot of recording. I mean, the thing with it was, you know, they were all, soil samples were being taken. I was there, you know, for a good part of the day, you know, measuring out and popping the pole, you know, around. So we had to measure each corner of each ingot. It had to be recorded, then carefully lifted, pictures taken, excavate down next one. So I mean, the whole point is it can be put together, you know, accurately as an entire hoard.
Wow. And I think we've got to say thank you as well to Alex Bliss, who used to be
yeah, I mean, it was a tough day.
Yeah.
I think Luke's got some. He's got a second video lined up for us now, which shows the actual archaeological excavation and such like.
Where the two tapes intersect. Okay. And what I need then is somebody in the trench with a hole in the business end of the tape measure over the features I point out. Okay. We all clear with that? We all good with that? Jez. Yep. I'd like you to do the hold the end of the tape.
It's like a game show. Let's step forward.
Stand with the ranging pole. So I will point. So, Dad, if you can. So what you're gonna need to shout out, Dad, is two numbers to me. Okay. The first number is the along, the X, and then you shout me the Y. Okay. Right. So the first measurement. So I see the cut.
Just is taking this end yet?
David, I would really appreciate your.
I'm standing here.
I see the cut as a kind of sort of ogival.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good word.
Ogival, teardrop shaped. I see it like that. Do you see?
Subovate.
Subovate. Yeah, let's call it that, shall we?
Yeah.
We agreed with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see it. It's there.
It's there.
You were right. As soon as you well, you saw it even before it was cleaned up. You're absolutely right.
It's a curved triangle. Yeah, curved triangle.
Yeah.
Right.
But we would call it in archaeology subovate. I know. It sounds very
first point I'd
pretentious,
like
but
right there, please. So you can step in the trench.
Right. So what do we need?
You just got to make sure the tape's flat.
Would it help for just a ranging pole just to get his angle down? What's down there?
The brake on.
Yeah.
Have you used one of those before, Jez?
If you hold it, I'd like it about, I reckon about there.
Where do you want it?
Yeah, just hold it flat. You've got to hold it so put it down to the level that the tape is at.
Down to the level, right? So.
And make sure that it's straight, as in flat.
Right angle. You've got to be a right angle with this.
Yeah. But
What's going on?
Gold. Heavy.
No
Heavy.
way!
Heavy. No.
Oh, come on, mate. I need to wet myself.
Jez? Have we got 86? Well, probably about double this time. David, I just about double this time.
He's put the sound down so we can talk over this. So
yeah, it's lovely seeing that.
It certainly is. Quite an experience then, Jazz.
It was. It's been a long time since I've done anything archaeological. I was a young archaeologist of Sussex years ago. I had my little badge, and yeah, it was. I did the Roman villa over in Beddingham, but yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. Yes, it was fabulous, and yeah. Oh, there I am. Is that me lifting? Oh, that was an amazing moment. It's almost.
Can I ask about the hat that you're wearing there? Is that a normal thing? Was it for
I do.
rallies?
That's pre-Peaky Blinders. That is. That's. I've been wearing that for a while. I do like a hat. Covers up any thinning that's going on in the area at the top of my head.
Can cause thinning though. They can cause thinning, same as crash helmets.
And you've also got on screen at the moment archaeological royalty as well.
Oh yes, we had Davidthorpe, who was a friend of Neil's. We called him in as a sort of a backup plan if the archaeologists couldn't make it. I think that sped things along a bit, which was good. You know, they said no, it's all right. Yep, we've got it covered. We're on our way. But he turned up anyway, which was nice. It was nice to have him on board as well.
It's fascinating to see. Obviously, I've been involved in archaeological excavations in the past, but not of something that a metal detectorist has discovered. And this, I'm sure, Jazz, it adds to the knowledge of history in your local area.
Oh yeah, I mean this, albeit this is slightly outside of Sussex. You know, we jumped the border into Kent here, where I think Bronze Age is more commonplace. You don't get too much in Sussex, but it's certainly broadened. You know, and it sparks an interest when you find something as well, because you want to know more about it. So all of a sudden, where you knew something of an era, you're discovering more. You know, and more from the archaeologists. And you know, that hands-on feeling. There I am with an ingot, and it was just amazing. You know, touching it, you know, for the first time in potentially 3,000 years.
Wow.
So
what did one of them ingots weigh about? Similar size to similar weight to?
It's hard to say really. I mean, some of them were coming in at close to a kilo.
Wow.
Others, the smaller ones, probably half a pound. There were so many. Obviously, they've been broken down for the purpose of smelting. So they're all varied sizes, but they're very heavy. For the size of them, they weighed a lot. I think the total was somewhere around about 15 kilos all in.
Blimey. Oh, look at that.
Oh, here we go.
Is it? I haven't seen this video, Dave. Is this on YouTube?
No, not yet. This is the first time that this video is being played. So Luke's give us I can't remember the word.
Did your going back to your family, does your wife and kids realise the importance of the find, or they just think, oh, Dad found something?
Dad and his hobby, I think. My partner, she's she was a bit miffed losing me to the hobby for a bit, but she's got a keen interest in not in the hobby, but in archaeology. So I think she realised the importance of it. It was just got begrudgingly so. It was a bit like, oh, you've got to do what you've got to do, but it's annoying.
I've just got to point out here, that's the first time I've probably seen Luke without a cap, and definitely the first time I've seen Luke without a shirt and tie.
Yeah, he has got hair.
There is some there, isn't there?
Greying a bit, isn't he?
You got the same shirt on again, Jez.
That was it. Yeah, that's my gigging shirt. This is my smart shirt. This is what I wear for special occasions and work.
Town shirt. Yeah. So yeah, look at the weather.
During that dig, this is the other thing as well, which was infuriating about in a way. I had to go and do this dig, right? And they said it would be wrapped up by midday or something. That's what we were expecting. And I had a funeral gig to go to, so I had to go perform at a funeral. And there was no way I could get out of that. Death is a very final thing, and it's for me it's more important than weddings. You only get one funeral, so
Yeah.
I had to go off. So I was all kitted up in my shirt, ready to go. And I had to go. I missed the last few ingots. They were still going when I left.
Wow.
Now, Luke told me that they were coming to the end of the taking out the ingots, and I think it was Tom Trussell said to Niall about changing the frequency of the route assault to 71, and it was at that point that where they thought they found everything, they found more.
Yeah, I can well imagine. I wasn't there for that. It was it's still upsetting thinking about it now. And I was at this gig, having to be professional, just thinking, I want to be at the bloody dig. I want to be at the dig. So if that was the case, I missed out on that bit.
But even so, you've found a hoard that many people will find a hoard, but not many people will find a Bronze Age ingot hoard.
No, this is the thing. I mean, there's a lot of things on my bucket list. Even the amount of time I've been detecting, no gold coin, various other things. No Celtic stuff, and it jumps straight to a Bronze Age ingot. And that's the beauty of it, is that you just don't know what you're going to find. You've got these things in your head. I'd like to find this. I'd like to find that. But the best thing you can do is just dig everything and surprise yourself.
Well, when you talk bucket list, Jazz, I went out with Shane, Staffordshire Searcher, on Saturday, and two of his detecting friends, Steve and Ron. And basically, as soon as I got there, he gets out of the car, getting my gear set up, and Ron's got a signal, and there's two beautiful Roman coins come out the hole. So I'm like, I'm getting Roman today. Yeah, I found two 1800 coins. Excuse me. He had loads more stuff. He had a silver with potentially gold gilding on it. What they called pendants. Lots of other lovely things. Steve, he was only there for 2 hours, but he had multiple coins and other things, and army badges, cap badges, shoulder badges. Shane finds lots of things, and I'm just finding bits of window frames. And I was getting to the point where I was like, I'm going home. I've had enough. And Shane says, just come up here, do this pathway. I found a couple of musket balls up there. You've got to find musket balls. You always find musket balls. Let's go up there. Off we go up there. I walked on the way down this path. It's at the edge of a field, the public footpath thing. Walked to the edge of the end, turned around, come back, and he's on his hands and knees laughing. I was like, what? He went, found one of your bucket listers here, Dave. Drops a cannonball in my hand. Yeah, cheers, mate. I'm going home.
Found a cannonball yet?
No, I've not found a cannonball.
Well, as Adrian said before, it was iron. And obviously, because it was a big bit of iron, it's giving a signal that he's thinking, it's worth digging that. And when he digs it, it ends up being iron. So, all that glistens is not gold.
But you got out, Dave. You had fresh air, exercise.
I did. We also set up the air detector and had a brief play with that as well. So it was nice, chatting about the new machine and what have you. So yeah, it was great getting out. I wouldn't diss that at all. Really, really enjoyed myself, apart from the fact I didn't find anything.
Well, like I said, I went out on Saturday, found some nice bits, but I think the highlight of my day was sitting in a ditch in the sunshine, eating my corned beef sandwiches.
You do like a good ditch, don't you?
I do. I didn't fall in it. I just sat in because I wanted to rest my legs. And beautiful, absolutely beautiful, lovely. That's what I enjoy. Do you find it good for your mind, Jez?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. There are places you could go that would have good finds or whatever, but I will always opt for a valley with a nice view, just to get out, clear my head. And the way I look at it is if you find something, it's a bonus, and it's the only attitude to have. If you go out with expectations, like with anything really, you will always be disappointed because things don't pan out in your head, in reality as they do in your head. So just anything obviously I am disappointed, if I'm honest, if I go out and I just find ring pulls and scrap and shredded aluminium and there's not even a musket ball or a rotten George V halfpenny. You know, I kind of feel I failed on that front. But you know, on the whole, you know, it's important to have no expectations. Just go out, find what you find, and enjoy the view, because it's an excuse, isn't it? Really, just to get away from it all.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to not find things in the ground, but at the same time, I don't want to find things on the surface. If that makes sense. So well, it doesn't really, but the worst thing for me is not finding anything all day, and then suddenly 20 ramblers coming up to me going, "Oh, are you a metal detectoristing person?" I'm like, "Yeah. Have you ever found anything?" And you sort of say, "Oh, you show them what you found today." Wow, you find stuff then? And like, you think, I could go away. And the whole reason I'm in this field is to get away from people. I don't want to. I'm not saying, you know, but I don't really enjoy it. I just want to be on my own. I just want my thoughts and stuff like that. So yeah. So the ingots now have gone away, and you said you were over the border, so they're with a certain museum now, or have they gone straight to the British Museum?
I think the last I heard from Alex, they've gone to the British Museum for a clean-up. Presumably that's happened, because he's. I don't know whether Luke will post up a pic of that, but we've got a picture all cleaned up, lined out, and numbered. So what happens next? I guess is.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll come to what happens next after the draw, because we've got the two draws now. So obviously we can come back to it, and then the latter stages of the show we can talk about what happens next, if that's okay. So Luke, if you could share the screen, please. Right. So Just Detect are also now proud to announce that they are officially sponsored by Minelab. And this is the current leaderboards by way of country. Top of the leaderboard, the UK, United States, Italy, Germany, Australia, Norway, Netherlands, Belgium, Brazil, and Canada. Brazil, good Lord. And the leaderboards for finders, people who've logged their finds, Jason Jones is still top, running away with a mammoth 302 from John Slade, Sav, Joe Rossi, Joshua Pierce, Andy 60, Relict Hunter, Metal Detecting Buddy, and somebody I can't see. So that's that one done. Next up, we will go with the McGrafter draw. Now, there are 11 entrants. I am one of them because I wanted to obviously give some money to the cause for the Macmillan Just Giving. So, obviously, first prize tonight is the McGrafter Spade for the 11 entrants, courtesy of Paul von McGrafter. Second prize is detectable ticket, including camping, which we think Karen will be in the chat room. Karen, if you could let us know if that's for the spring detectable. And third prize is for the composite cleaning pencil. So without further ado, where's my name? I haven't seen my name.
I took it out.
Can't. I entered. Oh,
you were in there.
And the winner of the McGrafter is Ian Wilkins.
Whee!
Congratulations, Ian. Second prize, detectable ticket including camping, is Steve. Well done, Steve. I don't know who Steve is. Could be anyone.
April 22. Sorry.
Third prize of the composite cleaning pencil kit goes to Steve Brown. So the winner of the McGrafter Spade, Ian Wilkins, the detectable ticket for April detectable, including camping, in Steve, and the composite cleaning pencil kit is Steve Brown. Don't forget to download the free Just Detect app, where you can upload your finds, look at lots of other people's finds. But then also you are able to upgrade to a pro membership or a premium membership with lots of free things, including insurance on that. So that's that draw. The second draw this evening, with 111 entrants, Minelab Equinox 800, a Garrett Pro Pointer AT, composite cleaning pencil kit, Just Detect merch, and this is for the Just Detect Pro members. So, without further ado, again, 111 people. I want to see my name in this because I've entered it. You seen my name yet? Oh, there's Adrian. Saw him. Scotty B. I've not seen my name. Stephen Gray. Ben Rowe.
Well
Ben
done,
Rowe.
Ben.
Congratulations. You've won a Minelab Equinox 800. Second
Well
prize
done.
is a Garrett Pro Pointer AT. I want to win this.
I haven't seen your name again.
I'm not saying my name again. I'm going down Portsmouth and beating Scott up with a stick. Dan Spencer's even in this. What does he need being in it for? James Sanderson, congratulations. You've won a Garrett Pro Pointer AT. Third prize is a composite cleaning pencil kit. If you haven't got one already, go and get one.
Cleaningpencil.com. Lovely website he's got. If
Is it live now?
Yeah, it is.
And what's the website for the new the domain name for the new website?
It's the same, cleaningpencil.com.
Marvelous. And the winner of that is Luke Chiara. It's Luke. Congratulations, Luke. And the fourth prize, Just Detect the merchandise.
Dave.
What?
You'll win that.
Yeah.
Extra small T-shirt.
Oh God.
Oh, it's Juventus Vivo.
And the winner of the Just Detect merch is Jevgenij Nikolajev. Jevgenij Nikolajev. So, first prize, congratulations, the Minelab Equinox 800 to Ben Rowe, the Garrett 8 Pro Pointer AT to James Sanderson, the composite cleaning pencil kit to Luke Chiara, and the Just Detect merch to Jeff. Congratulations. And thank you to Just Detect for allowing us to run that on the show. Next week's prize draw, it'll be back to the normal one, where anybody who has the Just Detect app can draw. So there you go. And there's a new website. Look at that. Isn't that sexy?
They've got a new the cleaning fluid now. The coin, and they got that storage box kit, which looks really good. Yeah, they've got some nice bits on there now.
Looking groovy.
Oh, look, that gets me so. Have you got one, Jez? A cleaning pencil?
I normally just use an artist brush. It's probably a lot quicker with the cleaning pencil, isn't it? I have a few friends that swear by them, so I should get one. I should join your competitions, really, shouldn't I?
It's chuffing therapeutic. You think
Well, you
metal
could buy
detecting is
one.
therapeutic?
They're only £6, which is like almost the price of a pint and a packet of crisps nowadays, isn't it? So
It's down south, yeah.
I base everything on alcohol, or a cheap bottle of red wine and a Kit Kat. But yeah, yeah, no, we all. I tell you, this is what I love, right? Do you remember at school you used to have those old pencil cases?
Yeah.
And then you open it up and you got all your stuff in there. Look at that. I get so excited when I open it up. Yeah. Yeah. It's just perfect because it all fits away and the housing manager doesn't moan because I can hide that. There's pencil everywhere.
Or she goes to get a pencil and ends up getting a cleaning brush instead.
she did try to write a check to the milkman with the cleaning pencil about a year ago. And I sort of just going like that with it, like, you know. But yeah, no, it's hidden away now secretly. Keep it in the sock drawer.
So, Jez, back to the hoard. What's next? What's next in the process?
Well, do you know what? I've not found a hoard before, so I'm awaiting some instruction. Really, I'm guessing at some point what happens is it's valued, and then it's offered out, hopefully, to local museums to the area. So probably Maidstone, Canterbury, places like that. But I don't know what happens then. If it's something they choose they don't want to purchase, or this is the thing. In your head you kind of think, oh, it'd be great to find a hoard, but you never really think about, you know, the what happens. Really.
Yeah.
And I don't know either, if I'm brutally honest. I've come to this interview without the bloody Scooby-Doo.
Well, we've got some updates from Alex Bliss that Luke's going to bring on screen, and we'll be able to see. We'll be able to see what's what on from Alex's perspective currently.
Yeah.
Luke.
He's very good on it.
Luke. I know.
You muted.
There we go. Further update on the hoard. An unexpected surprise today as a few colleagues generously volunteered their time and expertise to help XRF analyse a few of the ingot fragments. This is to examine their composition. This is a totally non-destructive process with no impact on the ingots themselves. We will only attain a very basic understanding of the composition through XRF analysis in their unclean state. However, it is worth mentioning that further down the line, this could develop into a more in-depth study looking at where the ingots were sourced from. 4 ingots were selected for analysis in this fashion, the detailed results of which will be compiled in the write-up. Our broad understanding based on the preliminary analysis is that the 4 ingots selected all appear to be pure copper, meaning not bronze. Otherwise, this would have tin in them. Trace elements of zinc, arsenic, and bismuth have also been detected. Truly, science has so much to offer in the field of archaeology. So it's not a bronze hoard; it's a copper hoard.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I've got a message through today. It's been listed as a bronze hoard, but it's copper. Some might suggest that would make it earlier. But I think Alex is maintaining it's still a Bronze Age hoard, but it's possible they were going to add the tin at a later date
and smelting and whatnot.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
really nice stick you got to stick there, Dave. That's interesting, covering your beauty spot up.
Bit of free promotion for Scotty B.
Yeah, I mean it'd be interesting, Jez, if they suddenly. Because it'll go to the museum and, like you say, and then the treasure committee, and if no one wants it and you got it all back, it'd be quite interesting what you do with it. I mean, you would obviously put it in a case on display, but I doubt you will get it back.
Oh, I'd have to polish. I've one in the raw state and I've one polished next to it.
Or you could melt them all down and make an equinox out of them.
Bit heavier than I'm used to, but well, I've got funnily enough, talking about this, I would not dream of doing it with a hoard. It would be sacrilege, with a hoard with provenance that it's got in the records. It should be on a display, really, possibly erected in a glass case. I mean, that would look amazing and make a great feature. But a friend of mine does bronze casting, and we were going to make an axe together because I'm sort of a bit handy with an axe and whittling and that sort of thing. I do a bit of woodwork. Been doing that for a long time, and I was going to make the handle shafts for it, and we were going to recreate a Bronze Age axe. It really inspired me to do that, but obviously we'll be doing that with copper and tin and not the Bronze Age hoard itself. As cool as that would be.
Yeah, it would
possibly
be, yeah.
what the Smith would have wanted to happen to his hoard. But yeah, that's something we will be doing. I don't know, but as far as the hoard itself, it's I suppose there's the issue as well. You know, 50% of it belongs to the farmer, so I'd have to purchase his side of it.
Yeah, well,
Worry
about that.
Which my other half would probably hate, you know.
Yeah.
Don't
New car next year, or purchase an ingot hoard.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I'd like it to go. I mean, I'd love it to be public. You know, I'd love for it to be something that everyone could go and see. If it went to a private collector, that's probably politically the best option outside of the museums, really.
But have you been detecting since?
Yeah. What have I found? A load of rusty old aluminium. Not rusty. It doesn't rust, but I just found a load of old scrap. It's been a bit of an anticlimax. The curse of the bronze, or the copper, should I say? Curse of the copper. That sounds like, you know. Something,
yeah.
Were you in any way tempted to go and have a shufty about and get there sooner than the archaeologists?
No, well, I was. I mean, the thing is, this was the thing. I was tempted to dig the bloody thing up as soon as I found it, because you want to finish what you started, but the history was so much more important. You know, when I realised what I thought it might be, I knew that stopping at that point would allow soil samples, bits of pollen stuck between the ingots. We could have got, you know, the amount that's possible now to be found out is immeasurable, really. So no, really, I get yes and no, really. You've got to resist those urges.
So as well as obviously what you've just discussed, what other advantages do you think that the archaeologists brought to the table?
What the advantages? Well, obviously, excavating it properly for a start. You know, I mean, that was a long process. It was a long day. Everything was recorded. It came out. They can reconstruct that hoard now. They can find out how the hoard was placed, whether it was just thrown in there, you know, which might suggest that, you know, someone was, you know, having to flee, fight or flight situation, kind of stash their goods and run, or whether it was placed in what has been suggested is a more kind of religious ceremony where it was very carefully, orderly placed in the hole. You know, and like I said, with the, you know, they can take pollen, mollusks, all sorts from that. Copper is a great preservative. So, you know, we can find out about the landscape and learn more from it, really. You know, an artifact on its own is only so good. Sorry, I'm getting a low battery warning. I might have to plug in a moment, but I'm glad I resisted the urge. I mean, that's the thing is, you know, that's it really. They're going to give me so much more information on this had I been hasty and just thought, I want to find what's in this hole, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But you could be a DT expert now with Mind Lab, probably. They'll probably be after you now.
Yeah, free stuff. I'm up for anything they can give me. A CTX would be nice, but Luke has already warned me that they're not too forthcoming. I had threatened to say I found it with my C-scope VLF.
No, you're Tandy. You're Tandy.
It was the Tandy one.
Wouldn't that be
see if Tandy will give you any free stuff.
Get some. Yeah, do they even exist? This is the thing, you know. It's like,
you know what? You've made me think now. There must be somewhere on Google image search a Tandy logo where I could get a T-shirt made saying "sponsored by Tandy." I'm going to make one. Because all joking aside, they were very good at anyone who's not heard of Tandy, in the 80s, they were like the #1 electrical store for gadgets.
They were Maplins. Yeah, Maplins.
Yeah, they were like the old day Maplin. And every school kid was in there. I think they were the first ones to have a video camera recording onto on a screen, so everyone's outside the shop going like that. Look, I'm on telly. Look, youngsters won't understand this, but they were revolutionary, and they did have some metal detectors, and they were pretty awful, but they did work a little bit. They actually, you could find stuff like you did. But,
I did, but it was about 1 millimeter below the
Yes. There's certain ones on Amazon now with a different brand name we won't mention that are similar to that. But Tandy in its day was fantastic, and I think I think I'm going to be sponsored by them going forward. I'm going to Google tonight what happened to, because it was predominantly some very innovative but quite that CB radios they had. Yeah, and I had all the stuff, walkie-talkies, all the things boys dream about, calculator watches that weren't as good as the Casio ones. I'm getting excited thinking about Tandy. Oh,
everything that a man wants, did you just say?
Yeah, it was. Everything.
Did they sell cake?
No, but
Therefore, you were wrong.
It was that feeling.
Therefore, you lied.
In 1982,
you lied to me, Adrian.
When the new Argos catalogue came out, it was that exciting. It's just like when the new Argos catalogue came out, and you went, "Oh my God, look at the size of that Skeletric."
I bet you Luke never once got excited about the Argos catalogue.
You bet what?
Luke never once got excited about the Argos
No,
catalogue.
Luke probably didn't. But yeah, sorry, I'm rambling on. But I'm thinking about Tandy more than ever now.
Oh, the old days. You remember the old days?
Yeah, cool. Do you remember? Oh,
when I was a lad.
No, it was. We were talking about this earlier, Dave. It was different when we were younger.
I wonder what badger tastes like. Luke, have you had badger? Because you like roadkill.
He will comment.
He will eventually. Oh, he's done it in a private chat. Yes, he has. What does it taste like?
Oh, mum.
Did you hear what he said then, Adrian?
Nothing. I didn't say a thing.
I think he said something that began with M.
He said it was grim, very hard to chew.
Right, I'm just going to plug my phone in. Sorry, I shouldn't have had that last thing there, should I?
He's just achieved legendary status there, hasn't he?
Yeah, Jez, that was good. That was good. Oh God,
he could come back to our pub conversation again.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jez. Thank you for coming on the show. We haven't finished yet, but you've got good Wi-Fi. You've got a good quality phone or camera or whatever. It's phone, I think. And it's always nice when we have a good guest on the show, and they're not constantly buffering, are they, Dave?
Well, Adrian, the good thing is that he had the common sense to ask me to contact him beforehand to make sure everything ran right.
Well, it's not many people who stream on a Tandy phone. So
that's Tandy. I picked up in the 80s. It's still working.
Amstrad.
I was a C64 man.
Well, we hope to. Again, yeah, we're not finished yet, but we hope to have you back on if that's okay, Jez, when everything's concluded.
Of course, yeah, I'd love to.
And then we can obviously discuss all the information, and maybe even if he's willing, we can get Alex on the show as well to discuss it from the archaeological perspective.
Ooh, yeah.
That'd be nice. But watching everything that was happening there, I bet you learned a hell of a lot of new things yourself that hopefully in the future, when you do discover something, will help you in your getting it out the ground. Excavation, that's the word.
Yeah, or the lack of, which has proved, far more interesting, just leaving it alone. And this is the other thing I'll recommend to other detectives as well and the mistake that I've made over the years is just avoid cleaning stuff, really. The horror stories that I've got to tell and others have as well, soaking it in vinegar and stuff like that, give it a scrub with a wire brush, just sometimes it's best just to step back and think, just especially with coins as well, with, you want something that's pneumatic.
Like a drill.
Not pneumatic, like, what I mean. The other thing. Yeah, you want, just generally leave things alone, get it out of the ground if you have to, but
I'll be honest, Jez, if ever I'm in a position that I would need to clean something now, I'd phone Graham Dempsey up straight away and ask him.
Yeah,
Even if it was cake.
Why would they get cake out of the ground?
You might. You never know. Someone might have buried a malt loaf in 1947 in a tin. I'd eat it.
I found tea bags from World War II, all sealed, tea rations. That was a great find.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't opened it.
Wow.
Why do I find shit and you find tea bags from the war in a tin?
Great.
And ingots?
I'll make you a cup of tea.
Cool.
I'd drink it.
That's pretty cool, actually. That is pretty cool.
But this is stuff like that. This is it's the surprise. I mean, it's one of the things that I kind of that made me kind of just walk away from detecting when that Garrett 83 broke was, the same old stuff. You get sick of finding that, like I said, the halfpennies and the musket balls, and you think, well, I found loads of these, and all of a sudden something really weird will just turn up, and you just interesting, and it just sparks your interest and imagination. Even if it's tea, it's just just different, isn't it?
You're right. Anything historical. I'm like any person our sort of age. World War II for me always gets, because I can picture it more.
Tangible. It's your parents' generation or grandparents, I guess.
Yeah. So anything World War II, 303 bullet or whatever gets me excited. But more importantly, Jez, which we quite often ask people on the show, and it is a very important area that needs to be covered. And you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But
yes, very important.
Yeah, what sort of food do you take when you detect? You don't have to answer it. I know it's personal.
Food? Do you know what? I normally just get really hungry and go home. But when I do take stuff, it used to be pies. No, I guess
good food, good call.
Pie is a good pasty. It's very good. It works well for the Cornish miners. You can hold it by the end if you get a proper pasty. And you just hold it by the end, and then you can throw the bit for the frigates or spriggets, whatever they're called.
Ginsters.
Not sausage rolls.
Oh, I don't know about sausage roll. I guess the sausage roll's good because you can hold it by the packet and not get too much lead poisoning on it. But this is the thing, it's contamination.
And when you're cooking, Jazz, when you're cooking on the stove at home, what's your favourite hob position?
What, my favourite hob position?
Yes. What your favourite? You've got 4 hob positions. What's your favourite one?
Sorry, Dave. Sorry to interject. Have you got gas, electric, or the other flash one?
Halogen.
I've got gas, but I'm a far left.
Good lad. Very much like me. Same age as me. Same hob position. Ginster pasties all day long. I like Jess.
You want to keep it away from the kids as well. You put it at the back. Far left.
See, told you.
Not quite as far left as
Why?
See?
Sorry, why far left and not top right?
It's across the body, isn't it? You got more purchase.
For that purchase. Who else says purchase?
No, top right's better because you're away from over the other pots and pans.
But your right arm comes round to it instead of being knocking all the other stuff that's there on your right.
Are you left-handed, or is it? I mean, if you're right-handed, it's like you're going to.
You left? Oh, actually, very good question. You raised there. Left or right-handed? Are you left or right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Okay.
As am I. Why are you left?
Yes.
Says everything. Luke's asked me to read out something. He says, big thanks to Alex Bliss. He did what he did for free. Jez is a great example of a decent detectorist and proof we're not all rogues. And Alex really stepped up with advice over the phone on the day, with no one else available through to coming along with his expertise to excavate. Big up to Alex Bliss.
Well, yeah, definitely. That's a massive. Do you know what? I assumed that he was being paid in some sort of archaeological. I guess they get paid occasionally, but I mean, I mean, what a thankless task. I mean, that was a big deal for him as well. I know what he's come away from as well, which is a bit sort of hush hush, but yeah, I mean, massive respect to him for that. If he did that for free, that's a hard day.
That's his. That's you know, I know he gets on great with Luke, and at the end of the day, you know, something like that. It's how many other bronze ingot hoards is he gonna dig up?
True, and it was untouched. I mean, that was the thing. Literally, we just brushed away the mud from the top of it. So it was, in many cases, you know, someone's already pulled a few out and an axe head and thought, well, I've got 5 or 6 finds here. I better stop.
Yeah.
But, it was virgin, really. So it was. I can see the interest from that side, but even so, you know, to come out unpaid to something like that, and he'd come a long way also, you know.
Yeah, hats off to him. Well done.
Absolutely. And to you, Jez, not only on a great find, but you know, doing everything the right way.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's you know, you've got to try, I guess, and we are in it for the, you know, I mean, it's not just the treasure, it's the history, and yeah, another thing that I, you know, should probably bring to the fore was, you know, when I sat out there, I think it was close to, it was some sort of, it was an equinox date as well, and the moon was pretty much full on the night that I was there, and it was just, and yeah, just conversing with history, you know, sat on this find, it's kind of connecting with it. It's really, it's, you know, I don't want to get all gushy over it, but it's.
Yeah, gushy if you want. I don't want gushy on the show before. That'd be something we could play repeatedly if you want to get gushy.
Breaking down.
But yeah, it was just, yeah, it's just, you know, when you dig up a find and you're the first person to see that or feel that find, and it's just been blocked. Sunlight hasn't touched it. Now the human hand has touched it, and all of a sudden, you know, you found it. It's just, yeah, and it's amazing. So this thing was uncovered in the ground, and I'm sat there at night, you know, imagination running wild, you know, on a full moon with badgers, badgers terrorizing the countryside, and you know, it was just, yeah, it was just amazing. And although it's 3,000 years ago, like even if you took the average age to like 50. That's not many generations back. You know, I could be related to whoever stashed it.
Yeah.
Or more likely related. I think we're all related to William the Conqueror if you go back even that distance. So the gene pool gets smaller and smaller the further back you go. So, you know, it just got me thinking, you know.
It's true. Everything I dig up, I think, how did that get there?
Yeah.
And who dropped it?
Who was it? Yeah.
I found a toy car from the 1940s at the weekend, and I was thinking of a young boy in shorts. No, that sounds really wrong. I thought of a young child dropping it in the field, playing or whatever.
There's no coming back from that.
I generally think who's buried this shit on the land.
No. Someone's lost. COVID cough. COVID.
Sanka, you're dead, man.
Why did I think of a young boy in shorts? I don't know. But
why are you still going on about a young boy in shorts?
Just leave it.
Cotton. They weren't leather or anything.
Can we stop now? It's not lederhosen or anything, were they? Well, listen, Jez, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on the show tonight. It's been a pleasure learning about everything. Obviously, seeing the video of the excavation, it's. I can only say I really do wish I was there. It's fantastic to behold and learn all about. So it's been great having you on the show.
Yeah, it's been lovely coming in and catching up, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, seeing where it goes.
I've got cramp.
He always has a medical condition on the show, whatever it is. It's for attention, Jez. Don't worry. He does it all the time. He does it, especially even worse when it's women. But no, and I'd like to thank
in a women pool.
I'd like to thank you for coming on, Jez, and also Luke for filming a lot of it and all the other bits and bobs that he's done, because it was lovely to see it on Peaky Finders, like the stages that Luke did, filming the archaeologists and everything. It was really good. So well done, but great.
It's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Well, We haven't got anybody lined up for the coming weeks. I've been at work every day, so I've not had opportunity to sort it, but I've got a list of names written down that I need to contact to get put into place. So we will have a show next week as ever. We just don't know who yet.
Chris Rogers playing bass guitar. Quickly, Jez, what do you play?
I'm a guitarist. I play an extra 2 strings. Or 2 extra strings. But Chris
He's very nimbly fingered. Very nimbly fingered.
Shorts. Fingered. Anyway, we move on. No, lovely meeting you, Jez. Anyway, and
it was.
I hope, do you go on the Peaky Finders rallies a lot? Digs a lot.
Do you know what? This was the first one that I've been threatening to attend for ages, but because of the nature of it, it's weekends, and I work weekends, and I was still gigging like on the day of the dig. So it was the first one I made it to, but because it was local to there, I said, well, I'll do that and I'll go on to the dig. So I keep missing out. I'm hoping over the winter that I'll be able to get out on a few more, you know. I've got sort of lots of, you know, friends within and around sort of the Peaky Finders and all that, and I'd like to get out more and be more social.
Yeah.
Welcome my social.
Hopefully I'll meet you one day. I'm not too far away. I live in Essex, so I'm not too far away.
And I hope to meet you as well, but I live like loads of miles away.
No.
Mind you, saying that, Adrian, I was thinking before. It's like a 4-hour drive for me to get 4.5 hours drive for me to get to a Peaky Finders event. The Americans drive days and days to get to places, don't they?
Yeah, but they don't have the M25 and the M11.
Yeah, fair play.
So, yeah.
Right. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you to Just Detect for allowing us to put their drawers on the show tonight. Thank you to Luke. Do you remember you were saying about him?
I don't know what's happened. Oh,
his eye moved. You put the kibosh on that, didn't you? Saying it was such a good reception. There he is. Thanks again, Jez, for coming on, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future. Oh, he's back. You can see up his ear. He's fallen over.
I'm trying to get some charge on the phone.
That's all right. You can.
It'd be great. It'd be great to meet you guys.
Excellent. So it'd be brilliant to have you back on the show in a very near future as well.
Can I just say, Dave?
Yeah, love to,
people like and subscribe to the new YouTube channel, Big Detecting Show, and like on Peaky Finders, please, because it helps. Because we get about £4,000 a month from it, YouTube, don't we, Dave? So it helps towards us. We don't.
So what you mean? We pay £4,000 a month?
Yeah, we pretty much do. We don't get any money for it. But yeah, so just click that like button or dislike if you're sad and you like moaning about things in life.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Thank you again, Jez. It's been a pleasure. Thank you to everybody for watching, and to Adrian, and of course Luke up in the cloud in the sky. Thank you, everyone, and see you next week. Good night, Jez. Good night, everyone. Good night, Adrian.
Bye-bye.
Good to meet you guys. Take care.
We still live, Dave? Just sorting out the coins. We still live?